Today we're inspecting the Hublot Spirit of Big Bang Moonphase. I am shipping this watch out today. It just sold, and we obviously want to make sure it's in good condition, it's running properly, all of those cool things. Before I get into that, I'm wearing the Hublot Big Bang Rose Gold. They just released the 20th anniversary models yesterday, which are super cool. They have the one-click option, which is nice. They have an in-house movement now. Super cool piece. So I'll probably try to pick one of those up in the future. But for now, let's get into this. So aesthetically, you can't really say much about this watch other than, I mean, it's great condition. You can see, most importantly with these watches, you want to make sure the glass isn't scratched, the crystal. And as you can see with me rotating it in the light, this is actually super harsh lighting right now, so it picks up any imperfection. So I would argue that even if this watch, even the watches I show that do have imperfections that you can see in this light, they're going to be not nearly as noticeable in regular light or broad daylight. So this watch, as you can see, you really don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, there might be something here and there, but I mean, it's a clean watch. It's you would definitely consider this excellent pre-owned condition. Clasp is super clean. The sides here. So yeah, really nice condition. Let me show the case back. There's the case back. Very clean piece, as you can see. So now that we're done with that, let's get into switching the date. So with this, you are going to unscrew the crown until you feel a pop. There's the pop. Then you're going to bring it all the way out, and that sets the time. We're going to make it to 6:30 or 5:30 is fine. And then we're going to bring it all the way in, bring it a position out, and now we can quick set the date. As you can see, date runs smooth. There are no issues with the date. That's perfect, and I love this date window. This date window is so cool. I love how it works. Perfect. And then now I want to bring the time back a little bit just so that this should be fine. Just so that we can see that the Moonphase is working. And so the way we do that is you're going to need a tiny, tiny pin. I have a tool here that I bought, but you can also use just like a regular pin, or like a pin that you use for SIM cards is fine. You just need something small. And so you'll see, am I using the right side? Yeah. You'll see right here there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little button. And that is, I might bring it off camera just because I'm making sure I hit it perfectly. So this is what you're going to push. And now you'll see as I push it, the moon is moving. Let me make sure I'm hitting that right. I want to make sure I don't touch anything but that button. There we go. This is very hard to do on camera, I apologize. So there you go. Moon is working perfectly. And the way you're going to set that is, remember, as far as setting the date here, and as far as setting the moon, you're always going to do that at like 5:30 to 6:30. That's what keeps you safe. If you do it between 8 and 3, you put yourself at risk to ruining the gears because there's some rubbing up on them. It becomes misaligned, and then you have to get it fixed. So this is when you're going to do it. Unless you have the moon phases memorized, you're just going to Google what moon phase we're in, set it to the moon that we're in, and you should be good to go. So that's how that works. Now we're going to wind the watch. So I'm going to give it a good wind, and we're going to test the timing and all that good stuff. So fully wound, I would say, is about 30 times on these spirited Big Bangs. And just so this is a separate topic, but some people will, I haven't had this of a client of my own, but I've heard of this with other clients, like other dealers' clients. They'll say they fully wound it, and then it doesn't last the full like 42 hours or 60 hours or whatever it is, and they'll wonder why. And the reason is because they didn't actually wind it the 30 times. So if I take, look at my fingers here, if I take my fingers and go from here to here, that is not considered a full wind. A full wind is a full revolution of this crown. So every time I do this, we can maybe say that's a half of a wind, right? So if I say fully wound is 30 times, really it's going to be more like 50 to 60 of these movements, right? And now you don't need to fully wind it every time, because I would say for personal use, especially so you don't overwind anything, you have this rotor in the back. So not only do you wind it, but the rotor obviously powers the watch as you move your wrist. So if you just wind it, 15, 20 times, you're going to be good for the day. You're going to be good for a few days. All right, so this is fully wound, or close enough to get a timing on it. We're going to screw the crown in. And now I'm going to put it on this Timegrapher, and we're going to get a reading here. Cool, perfect. We're at 280 amps, which is as good as it gets for Hublot. It'll get a little bit better as you keep winding it. It might get up to 300, but for an Hublot, this is great, especially a spirited Big Bang. Spirited Big Bangs. Let me see if I can show this. If I can stretch the camera over. Oops. So we're about 2 seconds, 280 amps. That's healthy. That's about as good as it gets for a spirited Big Bang. Even brand new ones are running about that. This watch in particular is 2019. So we have a very healthy watch, very good condition, and we're ready to ship. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this watch or Hublot or really any watch in general in the comments. If you need a watch of any brand, especially Hublot, you can DM me on Instagram, Hublot Haven Miami, and I'll see you guys on the next one.